So this is the queen breath. So what you're going to do is take a deep breath in and raise your hands above your head. And then clap. Then with your fingertips still touching, move your palms apart. And then bring your hat down. Da-ding! Queen breath. That's your crown.
That was very relaxing.
Do you feel relaxed?
I do.
I either made the mistake or the professional tactical move to have a massage this morning.
Oh, yes. Was it nice, though?
It was wonderful,
Yes.
but perhaps too wonderful.
Oh, so you're super relaxed.
I'm here, you know.
Right.
I had a facial this morning.
I know.
That was my first ever facial.
Yep. And look at your skin glowing.
I don't think it'll be my last facial.
No.
I don't even know that that's what a facial was.
Yeah. Scalp massage.
They like massage like your
face,
jaw and like your...
You're holding tension, like
Yeah.
when you're stressed.
I'm
you
grinding my
hold
teeth
tension.
at night. That's like,
Yeah.
I know.
And they're
They're like, yeah. It was great.
all these cheekbone
They
situations.
get in here like this,
Oh, that's the best. And under the eyebrow.
in the eye, and in this part of your nose like this.
You didn't even know that was like stressed.
No. And now I'm just, you know,
Wearing a beanie. Going
Wearing
in
a
the
beanie.
snow.
because it's cold in here. I do look like I'm about to hit the slopes because it's currently 3.5 degrees in this room.
And
You would think-
as I've mentioned,
Uh,
if you are half a century or over, you'll perfectly understand the temperature and that it is a perfect temperature. It is currently 18 degrees in here today.
I'm just saying, for a fireside chat, it's a little cold.
Well, that could be true.
Yeah. But instead of a fire, we have heaps of books. And I've got some books over here. Actually, the task for today's not a podcast,
Witching hour.
witching hour, is to bring in some books.
Don't drop them.
I won't. And these are all the books that I brought in. I thought I brought too many books.
I brought my selected,
This is the selected few.
the few. It
I
actually
was
took
pushing
me
it.
a
Some of these aren't
while.
even books.
Witch-related.
No, they're all witch related.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
in some way.
these,
to me.
I chose these books. I have quite a big selection of them in the store and at my Witch Space Studio.
Witch Space Studio.
Sounds like a space
Space
studio.
Station. Witch Space Station.
Yeah.
Partnering with SpaceX.
Anyway, these
Sponsored
are
by
the
SpaceX.
ones that relate most to which witch
Is witch.
you are.
Oh.
So there's some ones that are completely not, they're just my favorite all-time books. And then others that are a really good place to start learning about the enormous realm of the witch.
Yeah.
And then some that are more direct into which witch.
So what you're saying is you have to read all of these books.
I'm very eclectic,
Eclectic.
yes. Which is why I resonate with
A little bit of
all of these books.
a lot of
Plus
each of them.
The rest of them.
And the rest of them.
In the witch space.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, yours looks...
I've got a small. Okay. Mine is a representative of my personal journey.
Yes.
I don't even know if representative is the right word there, but there's a good reason for each of these books to be here today.
I'm sure there is.
Very good reason.
They look like they're ready to
Ready to.
be shown.
So today's witching hour is about some books, some excellent books.
Excellent books.
Excellent
very,
books.
very high.
If you ever needed a book
There's 2
recommendation,
books I don't have.
oh no,
Ah!
we'll tell people what they are.
Okay.
And you'll remember the authors, and you'll remember the title.
It's the same author.
Okay, it's fine then. Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's all right. And also the other thing is you've put there's a whole guideline of different types of witches up there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on today?
Plus my pictures of my witches.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be giving all information and talking about which witch you are and how you know that
Which
you're
witch
a
is which.
and which witch is which. So to make that less confusing,
Oh.
a lot of people come in and they say, I think I'm a witch.
Yeah.
How do you know? So that's the first question. And then the second is always, how do you know what type of witch you are? And then, okay, how do I get information to try and find which type of witch
Is which.
is which?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to cover
Okay.
today. So, to me, when you've asked the question or said, I think I'm a witch,
Yeah.
you usually are.
Yeah.
Because if you've got any thoughts like that or feelings around being a witch, you are. You just need to get direction as to what to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of people still get a little bit stumped on, well, what does a witch actually do?
Everyone's seen like Sabrina the Witch, and
Exactly.
there's basically like just one sort of avenue,
Genre.
exactly, which media has kind of put out there,
And
movies, whatever.
a lot of misrepresentation.
Exactly. So people
Don't
say,
even get me
hey,
started on the misrepresentation.
we could get you started on the misrepresentation, but
Don't get me started on that.
but there's very few like sort of different witches represented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out there
Yeah.
for people to say, oh, that's me. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, even when I first opened the store, and to me it is quite obvious that it's a witch store.
Yeah, it's called
It's
Wiccan.
called Wiccan, and there's
pretty-
lots of witchy things in
Lots of
here, and
W's
there's
around.
cauldrons
Yeah.
and all sorts of
Broomsticks, pumpkins,
Yep,
and
there's few giveaways.
yeah,
A few little hidden
not too many,
giveaways.
but there's just enough.
But when I first opened the store back in 2018, people would come in and actually say, "Oh, are you a witch?" That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a witch.
You already knew.
Yes. But, like you've just said, because you don't just see witches walking down the street as, well, sometimes you do, which is awesome, but because you don't always see witches as perceived, like you've just mentioned.
Yeah. With the big hat and
Yeah.
I was going to say
I mean,
in
unless
the
it's me
black
on a
flowing
Saturday
dress
night.
and the broomstick. That's
Yeah, I
pretty
know.
much like what you get up to.
Yeah, but you don't, witches are all sorts of,
They're everywhere.
they're everywhere. They are literally everywhere.
They may even be wearing a grey beanie,
It look like they're going,
look like they're hitting the slopes.
hitting the slopes
Yeah.
any moment. So what I found really, really cool started happening is when I said, yes, I am, very openly, and this is my witch shop, and welcome. A lot of people started to relax. And that's when there'd be, oh, I think I am too.
I think I am a witch.
And people used to whisper it.
Yeah.
And I said, it's okay, you can say it. You can say it. It's okay. So then we started actually, even for me, because I hadn't really met many witches at that point. I had some very good witch friends from the markets that I'd been doing, and we used to call each other Witch of the North and Witch of the South.
Depending on which place of the market you were
depending on-
positioned.
Well, yeah, depending on where we were in the market,
Oh,
and
okay.
also just in the way we, you
The
know,
energy.
the energy.
Witch of
our-
the southeast,
Yeah,
south-southeast.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, just love her. But I didn't know many witches. So when...
Stevie Nicks.
Oh, I know Stevie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when people started coming in the store and started to relax and started to open up about what they do and what they practice and what they do on full moons or wanting more information, we just started to be like, oh my gosh,
Inundated.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
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 So it's absolutely fantastic. And even like you'll see people that'll come in and get our candles, or they have a piece, you know, even if it's in a work situation where they're wanting to work some magic for
The candles are
some
really
reason.
like, they're like inconspicuous, because one of the candles, Rejuvenation, which I think is one of our most popular ones, yeah, it's got sage, like a sage essential oil in it. And so for people that are like in a workspace sharing with other people, they want to sort of cleanse some energies, you can't necessarily walk through. I say necessarily with a big necessarily at the front.
You could, but
with a big, you know, stick of mugwort. But if you have the little candle,
and then everyone comes
Oh,
up and
what
they're
a
like,
nice
oh,
candle."
it smells so beautiful. And you go,
how do you feel? Better.
So it's like just, calming the spaces down.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, okay, let's give an example. When a lot of people, when they're very young, know that they're a witch. It usually starts when you're very little. So, for example, when I was little, I was making potions. I was the little sticky stars that you used to get from...
Wait, no, the ones that you put on the ceiling, the glow-in-the-dark ones?
You know when you get at school and you've been good and you get like a little star and you put them all over your books?
Oh, those,
I
right.
literally, this is how determined, it's one word for it. I literally filled my entire ceiling without a single gap left of those sticky stars in every single colour. So that I had an entire Starry Night ceiling.
Not the glow-in-the-dark ones, the ones that are like from a school book.
It was the red and the green and the blue.
Oh, man.
I know, it was epic. And I would also name stars. I had a very good friend of mine, and we would name our stars and our, you know, who we were.
Yeah.
We were Santuza and Segovia, and I just don't know why.
Those are just two names?
They were just our names.
Nice.
And the incense, the animals in my room.
Heard that you used to be pretty cool. And
yeah.
Yeah. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
No, I heard you used to be pretty cool and smoke your incense.
Oh, I did smoke my incense.
Even
Yes,
though
I
there's
did.
nothing to smoke.
I think that's when I was going through a little bit of an elite witch
Oh, right.
stage, or I was
Okay.
just being seriously cool.
I think you might have just been seriously cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I think when you're seriously cool, though, people copy what you do, and nobody really copied what I was doing. So
It was too cool.
it was.
You exceeded the...
I have a picture. Oh my lord, if I can find that picture.
Oh, do
I
you
am
reckon we
sitting
can...
there, literally
Smoking incense.
my incense. Yeah.
Should we try?
We'll try.
Should I
We'll try.
manifest it? You ready? One click for on, another click
One
for
to
off.
make it go away.
So it went
Okay.
up for Okay, you ready?
Yep.
What? Wow.
Did it.
Nice.
See, look how good I'm getting.
Very good. Second podcast.
Anyway, so, and my mum always called me a little witch, and I don't know, sometimes,
She meant it very kindly.
yeah, I don't know, maybe my hearing wasn't, you know, quite so good.
Oh, okay. How do you know if you're a...
Exactly. And then I would, as I got older, like into high school, never was a thing for me, and that's when I kind of went fully into my witch space. And I know a lot of teenagers will resonate with this. We get a lot of mums coming in with their teenage girls now.
Yeah.
And it's a really, for me, it's a really potent time, and I really wish it would come back, which is what we're going to try and do in those teenage years.
Yeah. Everything's changing.
Yep. And all the baby witches.
Yep.
It is just fantastic for empowerment of self, learning boundaries at a young age,
Yep.
not worrying about other people's opinions,
Doing your thing.
just absolutely giving you your own sense of self. So I just think it's actually a very, very important thing to go through and learn during the
which
teenage years.
which is
Very
strange
helpful.
because there's a lot of parents out there that are like, or we see like certain teenagers coming in and being like, oh yeah, but I can't talk about this with my parents, or I can't do,
yes.
and
Because I think I'm.
well, yeah, no, there's like a perception that being a witch is like a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not.
But if it's truly just about finding your sense of self and tapping into your inner energies and nature and blah blah blah, and setting healthy boundaries for yourself and your relationships and people in your life and that sort of thing,
And
then it doesn't sound like a bad thing at all. It's just how it's packaged.
Journaling, you get away to your favorite little place in the garden or wherever, and you can sit and write. It's therapeutic for young teenagers, and for anyone, but teenagers. I just think it's,
and if there happens to be some
very
incense and
helpful.
crystals around, then so be it.
yeah, exactly. There should be.
There should be. It's all good.
So during the teenage years, I did that exactly.
Yeah, and that's how you knew.
Yeah, I would definitely be, away on holiday. Waihi was my kind of, place we went, and
Waihi Beach.
I would always have my tree.
Yep.
Climb the tree.
Yep.
Do all sorts of magic things.
Yeah, friends with the tree. It's fine.
And I talk to the tree. You talk to the
friends
trees
with the
a
tree.
lot. Rivers. So if you're drawn to that sort of needing to get into nature and just sit, and you do actually feel the vibration of the trees and the rocks and the streams, you literally feel like you are one with nature.
Yeah.
You're not just looking at it. That's another very, very good sign. I used to read tarot daily at school.
Another
to my
major
friends.
sign.
This is another major sign. If you're really into the cards.
Yeah.
Obviously still on the track of the teenagers. I did not like school. I didn't really see much. I didn't like school.
No. Stay in school.
Stay in school. Unless you're going to be a witch. No. No, not that
No
bad.
wrong choices, except stay in school.
So Carmel College,
We all.
North Shore, would read behind the gym. I'd wag school every lunchtime as well. We'd just be sitting and I'd be reading cards to my friends.
And despite knowing this for me personally growing up about you,
Wag school.
no, yeah, I was still like a pretty like diligent student.
Of course.
I was cool,
Yeah.
but I definitely turned up to class. I
of
wasn't that
course.
cool.
Your mum would have
Would have what?
had a talent
Read
off.
a tarot or waved an incense stick. I would have been saged in the night.
Well, yeah, anyway. I just didn't. School just wasn't my jam.
Yeah, exactly.
But the cool thing is, I now still actually read for those same friends,
Yeah,
like 30 or 40 years later.
yeah.
So that was just my thing right through school. Tattooing myself with biro. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that went through a similar thing.
Yeah.
Then I came to having children.
There's another one.
There's another one. There's another children.
Yeah.
And when I got into the mum space.
The mum space.
The
No,
mum
welcome to the mum
Don't-
space.
No,
What?
the mum space. Okay.
What's mum space?
Oh my god. Where you have to bring up your children.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you can't be doing,
Can't be smoking incense.
smoking incense and waddling off to go do your tarot cards.
No, no waddling at
No,
all,
you've
in
gotta
fact.
look after your
Yeah.
kids. But it was strange because I then stopped a lot of my witch practice for many, many, many years.
Or so you thought.
So I thought. So when you get in, and then was like going to primary school, and that I was almost trying to, God, I hate to say it, it's almost like you're just trying to fit in with the other mums, and you're making friends with the other mums. And
Oh, yeah.
it's like I wasn't going to turn up and start talking about, oh, hey, do you want your cards read, or do you know about fairies, or like, this is your, you don't want to
Suddenly
be
it's
that
not
mum,
cool? Oh.
right?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know, I was thinking of you guys as
Yeah.
well, and
Would
the
it-
mums a
would-
bit weird.
I was going
or-
to say, would it have ruined our reputation?
yeah.
Nah.
It
Hey,
was just a weird
that Mitchell kid.
Have you seen
I
his
heard,
mum?
yeah, his mum.
She's a witch.
She thinks she's a witch. Look at her now, though.
Still a witch.
Still a witch.
So I kind of hid it for a while, and then would do my own sort of magic on the full moons and stuff. But that was
Yeah.
a long period of time.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it really got me was when, obviously I had we'll go into this later, but when I had the embolisms and near-death experience, which actually is quite a phenomenal story when you think about it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Like,
I literally survived that, and when I was going
Literally.
through my recovery, people say you go through an awakening, and that awakening was fast and just boom, it was just like a wake up call.
here it is.
And I remember I could only be outside, and my sight changed. I don't know if you remember back then, but I was like, literally the trees were greener, the hedge was
And red roses too?
red. Yes.
Do you see them bloom? For me and you?
We're not
And when I
singing in
think-
the po-
This is...
Oh, you're gonna
This isn't
sing a
singing.
song.
And then I think to myself,
What a wonderful world.
what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world. That's what it was like, though. I would sit
Louis
there
Armstrong.
and go, I'm in the world.
Yeah.
And then I was breathing in white and blue crystals, literally breathing them in every single day to heal my lungs.
Metaphorical crystals.
Yes.
Yes.
You're not like,
Because you know what that sounds like, right?
oh,
All of a sudden I could just see all these colors and I was inhaling all
Actually,
these crystals and white powders and crystals. And what?
No.
No.
Like okay, so visualizing a very ice blue
Ice blue
and an ice white.
Ice
Visualizing it as
on the witch
crystal.
plane, on the metaphorical plane.
exactly
Yeah.
coming in, going right throughout the chest and the
Yeah.
body and clearing my lungs, cooling them down to get rid of the lung clots,
Yes.
which I swear
Yes.
helped
Of course.
immensely.
Yes.
Then,
Very powerful.
a few months later, bam, Wiccan turns up. I don't know where, 4 a.m, literally the witching hour.
That's the witching hour.
Literally the witching hour. And I got up and I was like, what is this? And I just started drawing. I just started drawing jewelry and
Yeah.
the name of Wiccan and the whole thing. So
And then
that
you were like-
whole download just
It just happened.
came in. So for me, getting back into my witch space was exactly at that moment. That's how I knew, not only have you always been a witch,
Yep.
you are now kept here to
Yep.
literally put that witch energy out to the world.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. That's what it was. So all the mood boards started. It was like one of those no,
Like
I
in
can't say.
like FBI
put
where they do
strings
like the
up.
strings and the
Actually there were lots of little tags.
tags.
Lots
So I
of
feel like my
tags.
role this evening so far has been to make sure that our audience knows that you didn't just start doing heaps of drugs and drop out of school and
Thank
now
you.
all of a sudden you're seeing colors and smoking incense.
Wait till I start talking about the fairies.
And then the fairies will come.
But they did.
They did.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's later.
So yeah. No, I'm
Okay,
here to,
so-
remind everybody
That
that
I
this
am
is all
legit.
actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't do any substances?
Well, let's wait till we hear how you became a witch. Huh?
Oh.
Huh?
Oh. Yeah, that was also a really wholesome experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew I was here. I started making the jewelry. I truly believe the healing that comes through me and into those pieces and then out to people is why everyone gets the reaction that they do when they put a piece on. And it's the pure spiritual connection. So I do live between the two worlds, and that is I feel from the NDE, and also
Near-death experience.
yeah, and that's just how I am now, and I love it. I have just,
You got the physical plane, you got the spiritual plane, and you're just kind of like
in between the two.
surfing the two.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you know you're a witch, you get that excitement inside you. Like when you're actually doing any kind of ritual, even if you're just out on the full moon and you're just kind of starting out with crystals, with anything, if you get that feeling of just, this is cool, this feels really good, and you just get that little,
Feels like your own.
yeah,
Yeah.
buzz of excitement,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, this is incredible.
Well, that's the thing with being a witch, or like, you know, working those kinds of practices, is that you're not necessarily told what to do. You start doing stuff and then you realize why you're doing it, because it feels very natural. It comes out of you quite naturally, and you might do stuff that no one else is doing, and that's
Exactly.
okay as well. Like you'll just, you know, you'll put your crystals like this. You won't even use crystals. You'll be using, you know, twigs and leaves. You know, you can do whatever, and that's why it feels like your own thing. You're not necessarily just reading this, doing that, reading this, doing that, being told.
And that's a good point, because when, you know, I get some people that will say, oh, well, how do I start? How do I know? What do I learn? There is a heap you can learn.
Yeah.
But first, I feel you need to start with what you're drawn to.
Yeah.
So I'm White Witch.
I don't even know the name of my thing. I like animal spirits.
I think you're more shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah. And green.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
But then I'm very eclectic.
Eclectic being just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, predominantly White Witch since the embolisms.
Yeah.
It's no doubt, because I've seen it, and that's how my head goes tingly, and that's just how.
Oh, this is where this list comes in. We got Crystal Witch, White Witch, Green Witch, Kitchen Witch. Oh,
Now I'm
I
gonna
feel a little bit of.
forget. Oh, you could be a Kitchen Witch.
Oh, hey, actually, I brought a Kitchen Witch related book today.
There we go. So you are Kitchen Witch.
Tell you what, was it yesterday? No, the day before? Really feeling the Kitchen Witch vibes.
You make a mean Kitchen Witch.
I made a mean Kitchen Witch dish. I got my big old purple pot for which I cook things in, and I love it. Kitchen Witch vibes. Anyway,
Put up some recipes.
maybe. I already did the pumpkin meatballs.
That's true. So if you, for example, Emma Martin's
Friend of ours.
friend of ours, Kitchen Witch,
Total Kitchen Witch.
total Green Witch.
Total Green Witch.
So, at one with nature, Green Witches tend to do a lot of circle casting, work outside a lot. Definitely one with animals and nature. And she's also a true Kitchen Witch, because that is her passion. She is baking. She is cooking up all sorts
with her
of
whole
things.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah, with her whole heart, whole intention, and then also even the animals get really good food.
And there's a lot of animals.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then if we actually asked Emma Martin's like directly, she'd give us another answer.
Exactly.
And there'd be more to it
Because
than
she's
what
still
we can
White
see.
Witch also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there'll be another form of,
And priestess.
well, there we go, of witchery that doesn't even have a name, doesn't even have a description, just a
Exactly.
feeling that she has. She's also just Emma Martin's the witch, or the goddess, or the whatever. Yeah.
So there are just so many different witches, and I think the big thing here is that there are no rules around any of it. Even though, actually, on that note, Wicca.
Wicca, Wicca. Yeah.
Wiccan, to be Wiccan.
Yeah.
Is generally following Wiccan rules. I don't follow rules. I truly believe in a lot of the Wiccan principles and connect to nature and the elements and lots of parts of it.
Yeah.
But as a witch, I do not follow any rules, and I feel anyone that says, oh, you can't do this because that's not the right way, or you can't be a witch if you do this particular practice.
Tell you what,
Personally,
though. Yeah.
Personally, that's a no for me.
Yeah.
You can take whatever parts of it that make you feel good and give you the outcome that you have desired.
Totally.
And that is it's like a cauldron. It's like you put everything that you're resonating with into your cauldron.
Yep.
That is the Arwen. That then become the witch from that.
So a realization that I'm having in the moment, live on air,
Let's do it.
is that somebody that, like yourself, who doesn't like following rules and is putting a little bit of this in the cauldron, a little bit of that in the cauldron, a little bit of this from over here, a little bit of that, and just stirring it up and seeing what happens, is your version of being a witch.
Correct.
And as we were saying before, the witch is the journey of the self, and it's absolutely something that people come to on their own, and the way they do it is their own, even to the point of someone that does really diligently follow one book, like follows, like a witch Bible, for lack of a better word, because that's somebody's personality, that's somebody's feeling. Some people love cooking with just throwing in a dash of this and a scoop of that and a this of that, and I'm not reading any kind of like recipe or anything, I'm just doing this and this and this. But there are people out there that really, like, that's their thing, is following something so meticulously and with such great detail, and so it is able to be repeated perfectly and perfected and tuned and blah blah blah. So there's people like
If that
yourself.
works for them.
That's what I mean, is that, yeah, totally, like,
Absolutely.
there's people out there that want to have things perfect, and that's their witch.
Yep. Totally.
That's what they get up to.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's my
And-
realization.
That's a great realization.
Well, yeah, but more like the
So-
the metaphor of the realization. Yeah.
I want to get a book, but we're not quite up to books.
Are we not up to books?
No.
You want things to be like this and this and this, and not and not linear, or whatever the opposite of that is. Grab a book.
Okay. But it's the one on the bottom.
That's annoying.
It's like pulling out the
The blue
t-shirt
one. You want the big blue one.
Yeah, on the bottom of
Oh.
the nicely set pile at
Oh.
the clothing shop. I'd never do that without the whole thing. Just there. Yes. Here we are.
Welcome to the first book.
Okay. So I think what we can, but then the other, oh wait, I'm not going off track. When we're talking about, or Mitch was just talking about with his realization of following a guide, like you want to just start from scratch and learn about the witch.
Page 1.
Yep, here we go. The classic course in Wicca for 25 years. So this is based on Wiccan principles. This is the Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft.
Sounds great.
It's a big book. But this I take, or have taken parts of, and used parts that resonate with me. This is more like a study guide. So you actually have pages in here where you have to put what you've done, completed your homework, written it down, what did you learn.
Doesn't look like you did your homework.
I keep
Seen
my
some blank
homework.
pages.
I keep my homework in my head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a lot about spell. There's just honestly, there's your sun signs. There's all your symbols. There's some really weird stuff that you can just skim over if you want. It's got all your runes. It's got literally everything. The classic guide.
That's a classic guide.
Which is why I've skimmed over the classic guide. But
Yeah.
that is a very big, beautiful book to
Yeah.
have with you. Just to,
For reference.
That's the word, for reference.
There we go. Yeah.
It's a bit, what do you call it?
Oh, you're not giving me anything to work with. Usually you give me something. Studious?
Studious.
Hey, see, I needed
Hey.
studical.
Studicals.
That was the root word.
It's quite studious.
Studious.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and to that point, to continue our cooking metaphor, is say you want to make pizzas and you want to make a real crazy pizza and you got heaps of cool ingredients and you just want to chuck a whole bunch of stuff on your pizza,
Yep.
but you've forgotten the ratio for making bread, dough. You check out, you just look up, you go, oh man, oh yeah, okay, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And then you can make your dough. How long did I have to let it to rise? Whatever. But
Exactly.
it's in the book.
Yep.
So you can get a little bit of that and then come back to doing
And
your fun
if you're
stuff.
wanting to do like another any type of witch that you are or that you're drawn to, spells is a big topic because
Do you do spells?
I do, but very, very, very really
When the time is right.
and very specifically.
Yeah.
So I do want to make it clear, I am, and this is just me, but I do not take them lightly, and you really have to know what you're doing and know your intent, and make sure your intent is for good. So where we talk a lot about manifesting,
Yep.
full moons, manifesting, easy, just put out your power of intention. A spell is the same, but it is more binding. It is a lot of practice. That is one thing where you've literally just called me out on my, oh yeah, I'll just do whatever. If I'm doing a spell,
Oh, right.
it's
Yeah.
in my book of shadows, and it's something I have tried and tested, and I do end up making my own take on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something to just mess around with.
Yeah. That's got to be like
Just don't.
perfect little bits of ingredients. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a science experiment, you know, you don't want it to just
Blow up.
blow up on you. It's not good.
No.
It's not good for you. So yeah, spell work can be very, very powerful and intentional, and very protective. I do a lot of spells for protecting people I love, for enhancing situations or desired outcomes, and I call on a lot of my own ancestral witches for every
This is,
spell that I would do,
yeah,
so it's not just coming from
from you.
me. Yeah.
See, this is like, I don't necessarily perform like a spell, but I do ask for certain things from my spirit guides
Right.
for a certain intention.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more like roundabout,
Yeah.
you know, it gets the job done,
Yeah.
but it's not like I'm reciting these words and I'm doing this certain,
Yeah.
you know, ritual or whatever. I'm just
And
asking for
coloured,
something and we're
different
talking about
coloured
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great, and that just
Yeah.
gives you a complete backup, and also a protective
Totally.
confidence
Yeah.
that in what you're putting out is protected.
Hmm.
Another thing about the witch too, like, oh, you know you're a witch if you dress like this or dress like
Oh, yeah. no.
snowboarding.
Yeah.
Um,
Snowboarding.
I wear a lot of pink, a lot of dresses.
Pink witch.
Also wear a lot of black.
Yep.
And for witches, wearing black is usually to protect your own energy.
Yep.
So if you're doing any kind of ritual, if you're reading cards, if you're anything you do, and again, this isn't for everyone, it's just the black is actually for protection. But you shouldn't actually really always wear black, because then
Unless you need a lot of protection.
unless you need a lot of protection, but
Yeah.
also you can then just start blocking like everything,
Yeah.
and you don't want to do that. So that's why sometimes I come out in a big pink like, aura of
Colour
whatever
energy.
I want to put out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think knowing you're a witch, you are drawn to most of those things we have spoken about.
Yep.
And with my types of witches, my types of witches.
What's your type of
What's
witches?
my type? I can tell you.
What?
I've had this conversation.
Already?
Yeah. Henry Cavill.
Oh.
The Witcher.
We have had this
The
conversation.
Witcher.
Surprise, surprise.
Woohoo.
Your type is The Witcher
Yeah.
from a witch podcast.
He's not up there though. He's not
No.
on my list up there.
We keep pointing to like our wall of
Stuff we can't see
stuff you can't see.
to keep us on track. It's
Exactly.
never gonna happen.
Because the first one was a bit of that was a ride. I had to add the little like sections, which I'll probably do for this one as well, like the little sections on the YouTube to be like, this is where we talk about this. Here's the chapter for the moon ritual. Here's the chapter
take
where we
what
talk
you
about Rainbow's
need.
End for 25 minutes.
Take what you need,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. So now we've got some stuff on the wall here to keep us.
So you know, if you if you think you're a green witch, you're going to be very drawn to
Nature.
nature, the land. Like I said before, in
You're
the
gonna feel the
stream,
trees.
you're going to feel the tree, like literally feel them, feel like
Yeah.
their soul is as much of a soul as yours.
You
are,
see butterflies every time. Like, there's no butterfly that goes past your vision that you're not seeing.
Yeah,
They catch your eye.
yeah. Insects in general.
Yeah.
Anything like.
Animals are drawn to you in a way. You're drawn to animals in a way.
Yeah.
You see one too many hedgehogs, and suddenly you're a green witch. That's just how it goes.
And definitely into the potions. You're collecting certain things. Always trying
Rocks,
to make
shells.
Yeah, certain. I suppose they are like little talismans, really.
They are.
They're
Yeah.
just things that you collect.
Yeah. They have an energy about them.
And yeah. You see some shells on the beach. There's
And
going
you
to
go,
be
"Oh,
one shell.
yeah.
That's Michelle. And Michelle.
That's Michelle.
Michelle.
That's Michelle.
She'd
Oh,
call
that's
her
Michelle.
Sorry to any Michelle's watching, but that's Michelle.
That's Michelle.
Green witch, hedge witch. Hedge witch.
This is one I haven't heard of. I
Okay.
tried. I thought my eyesight was bad. I saw a hedge witch up
witches
on
are
the.
kind of cool. They're a
Hedge
little
witch is
bit
the name of the bird in Harry Potter.
No, they're a little bit
Hedwig.
attitudey.
Oh, okay.
So hedge witch actually goes way back, like centuries, when people first sort of started outcasting witches.
Oh.
So hedge witches were witches that always lived behind
The
a
hedge.
hedge on the outskirts of a town
Oh,
or the village
the town hedge.
that they lived in,
Yeah.
because people just thought they were, oh no, don't go near
Yeah.
the hedge witch.
Yeah.
So hedge witch.
Hedwig.
So a hedge witch works very similarly to a green witch,
Yeah.
but sometimes she gets a little bit pissed off.
A little bit.
So I call a hedge witch like both sides of the coin.
Light and dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if people are giving her some
Some shit.
shit,
Yeah.
she's gonna maybe just stir up a few more
Yeah. Exactly.
little things there, and I don't recommend doing
Well-
that. But she's just there trying to do her thing. Very much a healer. Witches in general are healers. That is
Yeah.
is the main sort of purpose to me as a witch.
Well, to me, a hedge witch. So I can't even say it. Hedge witch, sandwich,
Hedge witch.
hedge witch, hedge witch. There we go.
Yes.
Sounds like someone that's quite loyal.
Yes.
Like they protect the people that protect them.
Yes, but very much alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alone with their magic, and
Yes. Yeah.
But if you cross them, well,
I don't.
yeah.
I've got. Okay, maybe can you do your clicky thing?
Oh, should I click?
Yeah.
Have you got a photo?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Wow. What was that?
My clicks aren't good.
No, no, not your click.
Oh,
I meant the photo, not the quality of
judging my
your.
click.
Oh, and it's back now. You have to take it away. Thanks.
I have
was
this
that?
fantastic picture of a witch, which I think was actually me in a past life, and we're going to talk about that when we get to past life.
Let's bring it back, actually.
But she,
You nearly did
to
it.
me, is the hedge witch.
Hedge witch.
And she's been through a lot. She just minds her own business.
Getting
She's
it done.
making potions.
Getting it
she's
done.
helping the
Day in,
villagers.
day out,
She's
showing up.
helping people. Yep. She feels like she
There it
has
is.
to hide away.
Yeah.
And some of the time she just really does, because she just can't be asked.
Exactly.
And
Seen it all.
yeah, but then
Nothing's
you
getting by
get
hedge
people
witch.
throwing things over the hedge at her or making fun of her because she's a
Hey.
witch.
No.
She just gets a bit of an attitude about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, but very, very wise hedge witches. Just
They've seen it all.
they've seen it all.
Been there, done that.
Yep. Yep.
Doing it again
I think I was a hedge witch at some point.
at some point. You feel that? It's gone now.
Excellent. Crystal witch. I did have someone ask about crystal witches. So, crystal witch, most witches will have an array of
Crystals?
crystals. A crystal witch is someone who predominantly works with crystals and the vibration of the crystals.
Yeah.
And can choose which ones are going to do what they need to do.
Which crystals in which pocket for that day?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know we have certain crystals that have downloaded to me that go into the Wiccan pieces for a purpose. Hence the eclectic again, I suppose.
A little bit of everything.
But a crystal witch is going to be setting grids back to like doing things sort of more by the book, but based on the vibration and their own intuition of the crystals that they're using.
It's always an interpretation.
Always.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be making potions. They're not going to be,
No.
Using just total spirit energy, animal energy. It's going to be
A lot of the time in that case,
literally vibrations of
their
the crystal.
spirits and their guidance are within the crystals. Those are the,
This
like this guy. Yeah, you can see it on the camera. Yeah. Big old crystal ball. Plenty
This-
going on in there. That is a communication
How many years? I got this
tool
this year.
this year. 2022.
No, last year.
2021.
Late last year. About November, I feel.
It's a chatty one for sure.
Oh, and I'd been looking for years for my crystal ball. And then I saw this and just, it was instant.
There it is.
The amount of witches that
Communicating.
are in there,
Yeah.
holy moly.
Holy moly.
Yep. And I wasn't even sure if I was bringing it into the shop because of, the shop and everything. That goes
Energies,
on
but
here.
it's been
Yeah.
stoked.
But
It's been happy.
It's so happy. It's like just
Yeah.
found its crew.
Ba-ding.
Another type of witch. If you're, people often talk about a coven.
Ooh.
Good
Great
show,
season of
good
American Horror
show.
Story, season 3, Coven.
Oh my lord! And
That
I
is
don't like.
Fantastic.
I don't like scary movies.
It's not scary.
I close my eyes.
It's also not a
few
movie.
times.
Huh?
Well, it's a TV,
TV series.
I close my eyes quite a lot
Oh.
when I had to.
There's that one.
Oh, but no, the second one with
And
the
then
warlocks.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So American Horror Story, season 3, Coven. And then it's followed up by season 7, which is Apocalypse.
Which is not scary.
Yeah, not scary. It's called American Horror Story, but it's,
That's because some of them are scary.
it's some, yeah, they
That
got
makes
different
sense.
series. But anyways, like, if we talk about representation of witches, that one felt pretty damn good.
That was
That
really
one felt pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah.
I was,
And bringing in the warlocks.
yeah, totally.
Because that's another thing. So back to the Coven, definitely recommend watching Coven. But that is where witches will feel their best and create the most magic and energy within a group.
Yeah.
And they're often led by someone. There's always a leader.
Coven leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High priestess or
Yeah.
shaman or whoever. But they're guiding the ceremony. And it's always very ritualistic.
Yep.
Very ceremonial. I'm doing this with my hands.
A lot of
because there's a
swirling
lot of
going
swirling.
on.
There's a lot of dance. There's a lot of
Making me-
movement. Incredibly powerful
Yeah.
to do. Like I say, I cannot. I am a...
You're a great dancer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm a great dancer.
Great dancer.
But no, I can't. I can't do a...
You can't work in groups like that.
No,
No.
no.
That's fine.
But so
Nor can I,
that's
really.
if you're in a coven, you might just be drawn to having to work with other people and doing full moon circles with other people,
Yep.
goddess circles, priestess circles, all those sort of things. There's so
Yeah.
many of them around.
Well, yeah, people that come in all the
You
time
can
and they're like, oh,
join.
I just came from like a however many person sized moon ritual
Yeah.
circle the other night. Like,
Brilliant.
that's dope.
Yeah, exactly. And a
How
lot
cool.
are done on Waiheke.
Yeah. Yeah, all around New Zealand, you know.
Check,
Worldwide,
check
but-
some out if you're definitely
There's Facebook groups and
looking to join some kind of coven or goddess circle.
that's I mean, besides listening to us, that is a fantastic way to learn a lot about witches, is to jump into a moon circle of some kind or
Yeah.
a coven or whatever. Obviously, all are welcome.
Yes.
So that would really jumpstart some
Yeah.
knowledge for people.
I also find too, though, with the more goddess circles, correct me, I could be wrong here, but they're more in tune also with like the cosmic side of the witch. So it's definitely
Star
working
signs?
with star signs. The moon cycles, incredibly important. Their way of being is guided by those cycles.
Yeah, every day, every different day.
Rising sign.
Was that falling sign?
I don't know. I'm not the cosmic witch. You're more of a cosmic witch.
Sun, moon.
Sun, moon.
I know what time I was born, so that'll help.
That took a while to find.
I'm a Aqua Moon. I'm a Virgo rising, and dun dun dun, Gemini Sun.
Well, you're my son.
Oh yeah.
And you're a Gemini.
So there you go. Yeah.
See, I know my shit.
Yeah. Anyway,
See,
that's my start. That's
no
my
idea.
chart to what I know. Yeah.
I would have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. You don't know what any of that
No.
entails.
No.
All my fellow Geminis out there, we get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Don't believe what you hear.
So, have we got astrology on our list? Have we got those? The moon rising.
See, I'm learning about
sign,
astrology, but knowing is the
Knowing.
one that needs to be
Okay, we might
Sitting
add that in.
here to. Yeah, exactly.
We might bring knowing in because
At some point.
she's pretty up with that whole side of things.
Yeah,
but
she
also
knows
goes to
her
show
stuff.
I do a lot of witchcraft, a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But
you don't know
someone
your
sits
star
down and
signs.
asking me what my rising moon is. No,
What your
sun,
falling sun is?
what falling star is. It's
What your
not,
shooting star?
not
What's
my-
your shooting star?
Not my realm.
Oh,
Not my
didn't you have
realm.
2 names of stars before?
Oh yeah, I've got 2.
What are they?
Segovia and Santuza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you just tell them that and they'll go,
Ooh.
what? Anyway.
Anyway, so then we've covered baby witches. I encourage all baby witches to come in and see us. Bring your mum.
I was going to say that's not necessarily a witch that has a baby. That's like a young or a
witch.
new, maybe like a new witch is a
Yes.
baby witch.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
and especially if you're really starting
have to be
off
young.
and you've got your crystals, you've got all your stuff, and
You
you've
just
got
go and-
people around you just like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you know,
Yeah.
just come in
Come
and
on in.
have a chat.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Or, as well as that, put a little comment.
Yes.
You know,
Comment.
comment on the video,
Yep.
comment on the Instagram.
Yep.
You know, email us, whatever.
Yep. And when we get back to doing, like, we're doing this because we're not doing full moon circles, but it has been on our mind for some time to potentially do something for teenage
Oh, totally.
baby
Yeah.
witches that are wanting to meet other witches.
Yeah.
If you're feeling a little bit isolated, you know, like I was smoking my incense.
Yeah.
That's definitely something we're going to look at doing. So send us a message. If,
Yeah. We'll hook something up.
Yeah, we'll sort something out. White Witch. That's moi.
Yeah.
White Witch is very much, I personally feel a White Witch comes through after some sort of event.
Event, trauma.
Yeah, trauma.
Yeah.
So it's not, you know, great. But it's usually when you've been connected to spirit. It's not like you were necessarily born that way.
Yeah.
It's something that's just happened. And
Something
connected.
defining has happened,
Yeah,
and
it's
now
been a big
you're
change,
yeah,
and
exactly.
you've had
Yeah.
a big smack of an awakening.
You've been through it.
You've been through it, and it is all light. Like when we're going back to the crystal inhaling.
The crystal inhaling. Yeah.
Literally, that's what I put out. I will always put out good intentions. I do it every single day, sometimes twice a day. It's always putting out like good light,
Yeah.
good energy.
Letting it wash over you.
Yeah, and a lot of spiritual guidance coming through. So yeah, White Witch is just literally
Beaming some light.
beaming the light, and healing. Healing would be my biggest
Healing yourself. Healing some others.
attribute.
Yeah.
I would say as a witch. Well, I had to heal myself.
So you
before
could
I
heal some others.
Heal others.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't say that in a dicky way. It's like, yeah.
No, you've
I
put out some
can-
magic. I think
yeah.
it's safe to say you've put out some good stuff. Yeah.
And then I can do some other stuff, but don't.
Other stuff.
Well, like when you go, like the coin flipper.
When things get a
So-
little like,
Yeah. And I don't know if you're like this as well. Trish Moore and I have had this conversation. We stay in the light,
yeah,
but you can really swill some things up.
you can get
if
carried
need
away.
to,
Yeah, if you want to,
but I choose not to.
but you recognize it.
I recognize it, and
You
I
say
know
hello.
that chaos magic
Yeah, you say hello.
is very, 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 very strong.
It's strong. It's there. That's okay.
But it needs
It's
to
all right.
just
No,
sit
it's all
down
right.
there.
You just say,
Yeah.
hey man,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Yeah, just say,
Just how
Yep,
are you?
that's what's
how
up.
Are you?
you know, you welcome it, but you don't like let it
Exactly.
overcome you at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, crystal witches, white witches, green witches, head witches, baby witches,
Kitchen witches.
kitchen witches.
You like food?
Shamanic,
Animals.
which is you. I feel like you're like more of a much older than your.
I say this
Years
all the time.
older than
I
your
say this all the
time.
time. I said it in the last episode, I'm pretty sure. I say it to friends of mine. I just feel old. It's especially today because I just had an hour-long massage.
That should rejuvenate you.
Oh no, I'm feeling like
Oh,
feeling like I've been smoking some incense.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling ancient for sure.
But you, that is your, and often
Yeah.
when customers come in and talk to you, obviously they get a very different experience talking to Mitchell
Than with you.
than with me.
And then another whole experience when it's the two of us at the same time.
Yeah.
That's quite the experience.
Yeah. Whenever we're both in the shop at the same time.
Maybe a good
A
Saturday.
good Saturday.
Yeah.
Usually on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are very, some of the things I hear you say to customers sometimes, I'm just like, whoa, where did that come from?
Somewhere
Yeah. Like,
way back into time.
wow.
Many years ago.
Very, yeah.
Well, it's a good stretch.
Yeah, but you're very, very shamanic, I feel.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, before we jump into these books, how did you know you were a witch?
Oh,
As a male?
as a male.
As a male?
Yeah. As a person.
Because, again, a person, you're like, again, stereotypically, witches are
Like Bad Jelly the Witch.
like woman, the,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of male witches.
Yeah. They're coming out.
They're all coming out.
I was 16, I think. Well, yeah, my like witch awakening was with the wasp.
Oh, the wasp, the conversation with the wasp.
The conversation with the wasp. So I was like 16 or so, and a wasp. This is how I knew I was into like animal spirits as well, because I was like, this doesn't just happen. Came like flying into my room, and you know, to a lot of people, you'd be like, shit, there's a wasp in my room.
Get it out.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not,
Freaking out.
no one's like stoked about the wasp in the room, and you're not necessarily comfortable. You don't keep watching the movie. You're like, oh yeah, there's a wasp. That's just gonna stay there. You know, everyone's just like. Anyway, so a wasp comes, sort of lists lazily into my room and parks up on my mirror, and it just sort of sits on the mirror at eye level with me, because it's on my mirror, so it's going to be pretty
Where you
much
can see it.
Yeah, where I can see it, which is higher than a lot of mirrors that I usually
you're quite
see.
tall.
So I like to have my own mirror because I can actually see that one.
Smart.
I know. Yeah. This wasp like parks up and just decides to start having a chat with me. So I walk all the way up to this wasp, and we're like this, for everyone that can. We're just
And it
like
didn't
here
move at all.
we're here and here, and it's just hanging out, and so we just start having a chat, and this goes for like an hour of just like, you know, I wasn't necessarily like speaking with my face. It was like through, you know, like a little bit of wasp.
Telepathic.
Yeah,
wasp,
yeah.
yes.
Some like psychic wasp stuff going on. And it was telling me that what I needed to do was communicate. Full stop. You know?
But this had come after a situation or during a situation that you needed to communicate to a person.
Oh, you're remembering the story.
Yeah.
As I'm telling it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a full stop.
No, full stop. And then I was going to continue talking.
Oh, okay. But that is the...
That wasn't the end of the story.
The...
No. Yeah, so I needed to communicate because I was at a point in a relationship. Maybe I was older than 16. Not that much. I don't know. At some point in my teenhood.
Give it a good 17, you know.
Maybe 17 and 3/4.
Yeah, who knows?
Whatever cool age I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I was at a point in a relationship where I needed to actually start like speaking my truth and saying what was right to me and what felt right to me and what didn't feel right to me. And without that, I would just be, you know, kind of like walked all over.
No boundaries.
No boundaries. I didn't have any boundaries, and I didn't know that it was possible to even communicate this kind of thing because I was just kind of, you know, going with things and thinking.
17 and 3/4.
Yeah, what are you doing? Who knows? Who knows? But this wasp knew, and came and had a chat with me and sat me down, stood me up, and we had a chat. And the exact wording, which has stuck with me forever and still does, and this is why I call it my awakening, because everything changed after this. The way that I, you know, enter relationships and maintain relationships has changed because of this. And the exact phrasing from this wasp was clear and effective communication. So being clear and effectiveness being like, you know, you can speak really clearly about something, but it can be total bullshit at the same time.
Exactly.
You know, you can be well spoken and just kind of like, you know,
Nothing to back it up.
well, not necessarily nothing back it up, but you could be having someone on.
Yeah.
You know, you could be telling a little
Yeah.
fib.
Bit of a gaslighting.
Yeah, there's gaslighting. That's a fun word. So yeah, clear and effective communication, and that stuck with me forever, and as long as it took for me to truly understand what it means to do that. And I would say that that is an ongoing thing. I'm still learning, and there are still new situations and new relationships and new people and you know, different types of people out there that I'm learning to clearly and effectively communicate with, and also expressing the need to be able to do that for people as well. So and I often try and, like, you know, with somebody in the store or friends of mine or whatever, I'll try and lead by example, and maybe sometimes be the one that's like, hey, we should talk about this, or hey, actually, I can see that you're trying to avoid this whole topic right here. Let's just cut the shit,
Just
because
get in there.
like, and then it like hurts real bad for like a little minute, and in some ways I'll be kind of calling someone out or calling myself out too.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I'm feeling like this. What? Like
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Like ripping the Band-Aid off.
Exactly.
instead of
So
just letting it.
yeah, and also to show that, you know, there's a lot of people, including myself, that have been very afraid to do that kind of thing, and often it's actually scarier
It
to
can
not.
be scary.
You know,
It can be scary to do it too.
it can be scary to do it, but then if you let it go for a certain amount of time, then that's the position where you end up where the wasps start coming and flying into your room and telling you that
Saying,
no,
and
no more.
saying, "What's up, man?
What's up? What's up, man?"
What's up?"
Anyway, so
That's super cool.
then from there, I always, well, I think that kind of like opened me up to the fact that an animal could come and tell me something.
Yeah,
And then
quite profoundly.
quite profoundly and quite timely. And then from there, I just started noticing.
But you
and
noticed
engaging.
that wasp, like you say, a
Hard
lot of
to-
people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's
would
why it
have
had to be a
just-
wasp.
Yeah.
Because if a moth had flown in the room and sat on my mirror, I wouldn't have looked at it.
No.
Because I wasn't
Afraid of
it, or I was afraid to effectively communicate, apparently. But that was like the amount of attention that I need. If a tiger had walked in the room, I also would have paid attention. You know?
No, I would have, no. No, because then I would have been...
You would have paid attention.
Screaming
See,
down
that's
there,
what
getting the
that was the
tiger out of the
level.
room.
Like that was, okay, so it couldn't, so this is like my guides going, okay, what can we give this
What?
man? This young man. It can't be a moth. No, we tried throwing moths at him. They're like, what about something more, how about a tiger? And then they had a chat with you and they were like,
Too dangerous.
Yeah. And so they were like, how about a wasp? I'm like, that'll work.
With the big eyes.
And it worked.
And the...
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, now I read oracle cards of animals. I read tarot of animals. I read animals in my daily life. I read animals that come to me, as I'm drawing something or whatever.
Yep.
Like that's just always going to be the case. And they've taught me so much.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And let us know if anyone has had like a...
You've been chatting with some...
Chatting.
Has a tiger walked into your room?
Have you had a spiritual chat
Yeah.
with an animal that has just turned up?
Yeah.
Because I just think that's
one way.
That's pretty cool.
That's one way.
And from there, you've just developed your...
And then I've moved into my crystals, and I've moved into my burning sage, and I've moved into, as we spoke about in the last podcast, my moon picnics and
Yes.
blah, blah, blah.
I'm having a moon picnic tomorrow night. So, happy full
moon.
Moon Eve.
Depending on how long it takes me to edit this.
It might
We're
go
down to the
over
wire, let me tell you that.
To the full moon.
Yeah.
I'm having my full moon tomorrow night with my little nephew, Arthur, who's 2.5. And we are doing a moon picnic based on the last pod where I didn't know Mitchell did moon picnics, and I thought that is super cool. So Arthur wants to be an astronaut. We are currently having an argument, as you do, with your
2.5-year-old nephew.
Century auntie.
Oh, right.
And your little 2-year-old nephew.
Yeah.
Because he does not believe me that there is a face in the moon. And there is a face in the moon. And sometimes you can look at the moon and it will be happy. You can actually almost see a smile.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it kind of reflective. Oh, God, no pun intended on that.
Reflective.
One. Jeez, mate.
Put the mic down.
Drop the mic.
Don't drop the mic.
A reflective face. He's like reflecting upon something.
Yeah.
Like the world.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. Onward.
Sometimes they can look a bit, the sad face. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And he refuses to believe me. So until he actually...
Oh, you'll tell him what's what.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's
little
getting
moon picnic.
He's getting the full rundown on the moon picnic. So we're getting the little crystals out.
Arthur and Auntie Kimmy.
Yep. Most likely we'll have some snacks.
Nice.
And we're going to lie down, look up there, and we are not moving till he sees that face in the moon. Or one of us falls asleep. It's going to be
maybe a little bit of both. One's 2.5 and one's...
Books.
What do you keep calling yourself? Half a century.
Half a century. Almost.
You're not even half a century.
Almost half a century.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's exciting. Half a century just sounds way cooler.
So now that we've promised that this was going to be an hour,
yeah,
we're going to have to tighten this end of it up.
All right.
Snappy.
All right.
So I reckon it's considering how many books I have, which is like...
You start with your books.
I've got like 5. No, it's fine. I've got like 5. We can do...
one
we'll
each.
do one and one and
Okay.
one and one and one and one and one.
You start then.
Now you start.
Okay.
But we're like...
All right.
We're introducing
I'll
it.
whip through these. And if you can see them on here, then...
Which you might be able to.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'll do?
What?
No, that's so much work.
Nah, it's too snappy.
Is it too snappy?
Yeah, nah. That's...
I'm going to do
You
it.
can see these. No, because we can just say
It's
what they-
happening.
Oh. No, we can do it.
No, the front cover's up there now.
No, but we can do it just with a list of them all.
I'll do that at the end.
There we go. I've spoken about this one a lot. It is Women Who Run with the Wolves.
Yep.
This is a really big read, but a very, very fascinating read, and
That's a
very,
novel.
very good place to start. learning about the witch.
Is that a novel, or it's like fiction, or it's well, not fiction, but like it's
It's
written as
more
a
of an-
story, or it's like the guidebook, the blue one that you showed
No, it's
before.
not a guidebook,
It's a story.
kind of.
Yeah.
Wikipedia. This is
No,
brilliant.
actually, very pun intended. Oh wait, I didn't get rid of the last one. Wait. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of work,
because
isn't
we're
it?
doing just one. We're just
What?
going to list all the titles and the authors in one screen.
Oh, okay.
Wikipedia, a modern day White Witch's Guide. This is fantastic. I've got, look at all my little bookmarks in here. Very easy to pick up on, read things, sharpen your psychic abilities, different types of crystals. This is like a little, I call it like my little huggy book.
Huggy book.
Yeah. So it's like one you can just take around with you, and it's just like, it's just got everything you need, and it's all your witchiness just in one cute little book. So
10 out of 10 Huggy book.
10 out of 10 huggy book. Okay, I feel like I'm getting more presents than you.
You do have more presents than me.
Good Witch's Guide. This is also really, really good. Same author, but this is a lot more to do with your spell work, probably more for like the kitchen witch and crystal witch.
Is it like teas and stuff?
Yeah,
Is
there's
that-
teas, there's like
What's that?
so lots of different spells for health. I'm not going to read out the first one.
What's the
Just
first
look
one?
at- No.
What's the first one?
No.
We'll cut it out.
No.
We'll cut it out.
No, because you won't.
I've cut things out before.
You will not.
The first 20 minutes of this is already gone.
Okay, so let's look at blood
The
pressure,
top one.
blood sugar, cholesterol.
What's the top one?
Fevers. I'm not sure.
No, give it here.
Arthritis.
Give it here.
These are all your.
You can't do that.
No.
Not to the people.
It's that one.
Which one? I can't read.
It's got oh.
I can't read.
God.
I've got glasses. Oh. Oh.
Just buy the book. Buy the book.
Okay, let's. Yeah, buy the book. Sorry.
See? Just buy the book.
Wow.
But a lot of different herbs. Good Witch's Guide. Beautiful cover. I love a good.
Who's the author?
Sean Robinson, Charity Bedell. So same
Very nice.
as Wikipedia. Green Witch. Pretty self-explanatory. But this
Don't
is,
judge it by its cover.
Oh, sorry, Green Witch.
Well, you've read the book, so.
But this is more on the herbs and the flowers and the essential oils and making potions, which is really, really cool. Actually, you know what? And that's a really good thing to do with like your little kids, your little grandkids.
Teas and flowers
Teas and
oil.
flowers and little, you know.
Yeah,
potions.
little potions and stuff. It's fun.
Wicca for beginners. This one's, again, really good. If you're just wanting to start, you're just wanting to get the information, these ones are just, yeah, just a really easy guide. I've got lots of little dog ears. Oh, so here we go. So you're curious about magic. That is actually the name of one of the chapters.
I am.
Wicca for beginners. Beautiful. Are we nearly even, Stevens?
Oh, can I do one?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is just another Wicca
Okay.
made easy, so we can put that up for you. You can do one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Actually,
I've
yeah,
got-
just go ahead. Just go. I'll do. Because then I have to put the mic down.
Green Witchcraft 2.
Ah.
This is balancing the light and shadow. Which,
As we were talking,
yeah, and that is very important to do.
integrating your shadow for
Integrating
the
your
Jungians
shadow,
out there.
integrating it, but also like working with which one you're drawn to more.
Well, you know, which one you're afraid of more too.
You can be afraid of both.
Exactly. Some people are afraid of. Yeah, exactly. Either one.
Oh God, puns. Don't need to be afraid of your own shadow. Okay.
Yeah. It's hard not to be, but it's like that was
It's
my
part of
my
you.
goal. That was
It's
not
part
my
of
goal. That was like one of my things I was working with in 2021. Integration of the shadow. It's
Oh, tell me. Yeah.
I don't even know how I did.
Bring on the labyrinth. This is also really good, this book, for tarot. So it's got just very small paragraphs about each of the tarot cards, and working constructively with the light and shadow side.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's very good.
Oh.
Okay, these are some pretty full-on witch books.
Full
Avalon
witch.
Within, just incredible. Most of you know I've just been through the whole Avalonian journey, cycle of healing. Blew my mind. Obviously inspired the whole collection. So they have a lot to talk about on that particular collection. This book is a mix of the sort of, what did I say before?
Light in the dark?
Studical.
Studious.
Studious. So this has got Glastonbury. It's got, heaps of pictures, but it's all
You got a
about...
bit of history in there too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of history,
Yeah.
revisiting the self, lots of tools.
The capital S.
The cloak of the priestess. Oh my God, there's just everything, and all the different stations of healing.
Yeah.
Very in depth, but very powerful for self-healing. Could not recommend that highly enough.
Embarking on a quest of
That-
knowledge.
Yeah, that would be another Huggy book.
That's a Huggy book. 10 out of 10 a Huggy book.
Yep. Essential oil magic. Literally all about your oils.
Is what it says on the tin.
Yep. And this is every avocado oil, grapeseed oil, diffuser spells, different rituals.
Kitchen witch.
30 magic
Green witch?
essential oils. Clary sage, green kitchen
That's nice.
witch. Cultivate your craft. That is it. It's like a recipe book.
Yeah. So for the people we were talking about before who want to cleanse the space of their office,
Yes.
you make a little bit of sage oil,
Yep.
put that in your brownies, bring that to work.
I was thinking like a little pouch, like a little potpourri of. They're like, oh, what a nice potpourri.
No,
But
it's someone brought
really, it's
cupcakes to the
actually
office
like
and
a
it's
whole
got
heap
sage
of
in it,
other
and everyone's
cool
like,
stuff in it, and it's sitting
Oh.
there doing stuff.
right.
You can't put stuff in brownies.
There's not actual stuff in it. It's, not illegal stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
a bit of
Thyme,
sage,
sage,
sage brownies,
mugwort.
mugwort brownies.
Yeah. Oh.
This one, The Witches, Salem, 1692. If you're wanting some serious history and some serious learning
Yeah.
and some serious unmisconception,
That's a geographical
this is
origin.
this is
you know?
the book. This is just absolutely fascinating. And I mean, look at this. We've even gone back to actual writings of the time. That's a beauty.
Oh, you love this book. That's a
This
10 out of
is-
10 Huggy book.
This might be a 12.
12 out of 10 Huggy book.
Yeah.
You love this book.
Circe
I haven't
is
read it
my
yet.
favourite book, I think, in the world, other than
Poisonwood Bible,
Poisonwood Bible,
which I am reading right
by
now,
Barbara
which isn't in this
Kingsolver.
stack because I haven't finished it yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this is very cool. This is very much to do with the gods. Circe's father is Zeus, and her mother was the first witch, unknown as a witch, until Circe came out as a witch. And man, has she got some power.
A little bit of
And
Greek stuff going
A
on
lot
there.
of Greek, yeah.
I saw Achilles on the front.
It's just fascinating.
I just rewatched Hercules recently.
Yep, it's all literally to do with the gods, and then her father Zeus gets all shitty with her and bans her off to her own island.
Ah,
Wouldn't
like
that be
a-
nice?
To your own island.
Yeah, she gets a whole own
Banished.
island. Yeah, and it's just epic. Anyway, that is a Huggy book. Take that with you everywhere.
What's this one?
It's two left. So we've got Grimoire for the Green Witch. So a Grimoire is more for that's spells. It's basically spells.
Spells.
Your Book of Shadow is where you're writing your own personal spells and
We'll do that another time, I reckon.
whatnot.
Little Book of Shadows.
Grimoire is different to that. This is I love this. Avoid haggling when buying magical items.
Really?
Yep. Because whatever goodness you put out comes back vice versa. So
I've been in situations where,
don't haggle, mate.
well, no, I didn't want to. And the person selling was like, no. and gave me a lower price just to get things going.
No. The law of equal returns applies to all aspects of the craft.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I didn't want to do it.
Don't do it.
I didn't. Well, I had to.
And this has got, like, again, opening the circle, closing the circle, cakes and wine. A lot of different rituals, music, meditations. Like, this is, yeah, a lot of working with the moon and the tides and everything. So that's Anne Mora, but that is...
That's a goodie.
That's a goodie. This one we'll probably get into, actually, you can get onto yours, make sure.
You do have a divination.
Because
Yeah.
this is a brilliant book for divination, but divination is not to be taken lightly. So I think we'll do the divination when we get to divination.
Okay.
And that is my story.
Oh, love it. Okay.
That was quick.
Nice. So none of my books are actually witch books.
But they are.
But they are, because I'm a witch, and
They're your books.
they've, yeah. But it's just a sort of collection of different things that I felt like, because my homework was to go look for like witch books that I've read, and I don't think I've ever actually read a witch book. I haven't read any of those. So this is what I've read, and this is where I've come to. So this is a very popular book, this first one. This is The Alchemist. This is an incredible, I'd say, experience. The feeling that you get from reading this as you're following the protagonist's journey of the self. It's metaphorical. It's absolutely filled with just like little jewels of wisdom, and you know, some of the stuff that I say up the front of the store has been inspired by the feeling that I've received from reading this book. So I would absolutely recommend that. You may have already heard of it, and if you've heard of it and haven't read it, here's your cue.
Huggy book?
This is a huggy book.
Okay.
Also, this particular like printing of it is so
Definitely
nice.
a huggy book.
Yeah,
Yep.
The colors, everything. Yeah, that's a good one. It's also a quick read. Like it's super fast. This one was recommended to me by a friend of mine. The Courage to be Disliked. Incredible. It's almost like a transcription of a conversation between a philosopher and a student, and it goes over the course of 5 nights of conversation. So you can actually read this book in order of the first night, and then the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. But basically it's a conversation describing a type of philosophy, and basically the philosopher or the master having, all of these answers and years of wisdom behind them, and then this sort of like upstarty kind of student coming along and being like, hey, this is all bullshit, what's going on here? And you find yourself like on one side of the coin or the other, depending on the topic that they're on about. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, the philosopher's kind of, he's
on point.
He's on it. This is great. And the student's just like not getting this. Like, who is this guy? And then other times I'm like, yeah, that's a little too far. And I'm kind of with the student here. So it's it's a great book for feeling where you're at on certain topics and certain parts of your own journey. It's fantastic. So I would recommend this. It's got a sequel called The Courage to be Happy.
Which is also very important.
Even as a sentence.
Yeah.
As a series of words.
You can be happy no matter what crap is happening.
And the courage to be disliked too, which I think we've talked about a lot today, is despite, other people's opinions of witchcraft and so on, the courage to continue and to be yourself is sometimes the courage to be disliked. Yep. And therefore sometimes the courage to instead like yourself.
And be happy.
Instead of everyone else liking you and disliking yourself. So there you go. Great book.
Ooh,
then,
I like this cover.
This is my journal.
Oh!
Yeah. I didn't quite so this is my year of growth. Yeah, year of growth. Oh, man.
Oh, you're turning into your mum.
Wow. Yeah, year of growth journal, 2022.
Yeah.
It's got the pretty gold
That's a really
blah, blah, blah.
nice book.
So I brought this book because it's a book that I read as well.
You
as
write your journal and then read what you wrote?
I've read my journal before, not like necessarily the same day, but I go back through it. Like, what was like,
okay.
I look at January, I look at last year. I've been doing this for a couple of years now.
It's probably one of the main
And
parts of
before that,
journaling,
yeah, exactly, like reflecting on what, it's good to get it all out. Like my first feeling with journaling is that scene from Harry Potter where Dumbledore is like pulling the memory from his his head and putting it in the pool so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore, and it's just like
That's great.
already out, and then you're just a little lighter. And then if you feel like going back and being like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. There you go.
That's what's going
That's
on.
what's going on.
So it doesn't have to be this,
Interesting.
but this is just a daily journal. It's got some great prompts in it. But
Beautiful journal.
and then my favorite author of all time. He is a fiction author from Japan, Murakami.
Bit of a genius.
Incredible novelist for our time. And the reason I bring his book here is because he writes in the in-between space, as you've been talking about yourself, of the part of you is in the physical realm, part of you is in the spiritual realm, and he believes that for the world around us as well. So this book begins sometimes in a physical, sometimes purposely sort of mundane situation, or he likes to use the word average, to describe certain things. He's like, everything's just, very typical and blah, blah, blah. And he gets you quite comfortable, kind of like a slice of life feeling. And then all of a sudden, little bits of magic start creeping in. And the protagonist is sort of shown these pieces of magic and accepts them quite willingly and works with them, and then comes back into the physical realm. And so it's quite like you're kind of literally feeling like you're going between two worlds while reading any of his books. Yes.
What you keep saying, the protagonist?
That's the main character.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the protagonist to me is someone who's just like annoying you.
Oh, I don't know what you think. I don't know what word you're mixing up there.
Okay.
But this is what I mean is the main character. The main character of the story.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I felt a little bit like the main character of this story because the real life / magical events that happened in this book, it's a crazy and insane and long story, but what happened in this book happened to me in real life as I was reading it.
Oh,
this is that book.
Through Europe.
Yeah. Oh. Like in a very real magical way. This is weird. This is the only, I traveled for however long. This is the only book that I read. And as I was reading it, the things that were magically happening to this character started magically happening to me as I was reading them. So read that to find out more.
In real life.
Maybe I can tell that story sometime.
Yeah. Because that's
like
weird shit.
And to remember that, I'm going to go back to my journals from when I was traveling in 2019.
Yes.
Anyway, that's a great author and book in particular, but any of his works are fantastic. And then this one's a little more I'd say an abstract decision, but it goes towards the Kitchen Witch.
That's my Christmas present.
This is your Christmas present. But this book is a representation of my journey with food and cooking and how I feel while I'm cooking, and just everything about it, like the way that I treat my body now has completely changed. So I've become vegan and, sort of slowly back and forth. It's, okay. Back and forth over the past 5 years or something. And then more recently in the past year or so, I've been pretty dedicated to it. But that is because I've truly felt like I've been learning how to cook, and I cook every night now, and I love that so much. And getting inspiration from all over the world and different ingredients and blah blah blah. But this guy, Gaz Oakley, when I was first becoming vegan, at the same time as learning how to cook for the first time, on my own, I found his YouTube videos, and he was really inspirational because, at that time, even me, I was like, don't vegans just eat salad? And he's got some really cool recipes. So that's what started that off for me. But yeah, I would say that book has some more symbolic meaning for me of the way that I treat myself and what I put into me and the energy that I can.
The whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also just like the practice of cooking.
Which is a ritual in itself.
Exactly. If I'm not cutting, at least like 4 or 5 onions a day, I don't know what kind of day I'm having.
What are you going to do?
Like the smashing
What's
the
gonna
garlic
happen?
and peeling off the skins and the chopping that up real fine. The recipe's like, you should put 1 clove of garlic in here, and I'm, 8 down, and I'm just,
I know.
tastes amazing.
What if you came into work one day and you hadn't cut the onions?
I hadn't cut the onions. Exactly.
I'd have to send
Breakfast
you home.
was.
I'd have to send you home.
What if I hadn't toasted my muesli?
I know.
And exactly.
So
It's
as
an
that is
energy
my
thing.
Christmas present, also
Yeah.
I'm now going to be doing my very best.
I'm gonna put that in your pile.
I'm going to be doing my
Look at this.
very best.
Your absolute best.
So you go to what you're drawn to, but because this was
The reason
given lovingly to me from my son for Christmas, I am going to start making some of these recipes.
It felt-
slowly but surely changing my own way of eating as well. Look at it on the pile.
the reason, not yet. I don't think that's a Huggy book for
Okay,
you
it's not
yet,
a Huggy
but
book yet.
you don't have to lie to our audience,
Yeah, okay.
Um,
I'm going to give it a shot though.
But the reason I got that for you
Mm-hmm.
was because I was bringing in some, delicious lunches,
Lemon, good.
and you were like, Mitch, why can't you just cook for me all the time?
Wow.
That was my everyone impression. That wasn't specific to you.
Okay, cool.
Why can't you just cook for me all the time?
Well,
why can't I
you?
do that? Why can't
Because,
this,
yeah, but
blah,
you
blah,
make like
blah.
big dishes of it, and it's like, surely there's leftovers.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
saying.
just me. I'm just going to have like a little bowl.
Teach a witch to fish, like that's,
Or just bring her the food.
just bring her fish every day. That's not vegan. Teach a witch,
Teach a witch to fish.
Teach a
No,
witch to
Just
cut her
bring me
onions.
the little bowl, and then maybe the more I start tasting it and enjoying it, then I'm inspired to make my own. Or
You love it. You love it.
become completely codependent on you bringing my lunch in.
This is what I mean. This is what I'm trying to, avoid.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that is our books.
Yep.
Mitchell will magically put a list
Oh,
of all the books we
did I
have.
leave it up there or did I take it down? Anyway, here it is again. Or it's leaving now, I'm not sure. Ta-da! You can pause the video here
Okay.
and write them all down.
And write them down. Because
Pull a funny face. That's where you can pause the video. Do you feel played?
I feel totally played. And I think,
Oh no, I don't think we kept to time at all.
what's the time?
Well, I don't know. It's been a while. It's
That's
been longer
okay.
than an hour.
All
We'll see what
right.
I can do in
So,
post.
Hope you got something out of that. Send us any messages.
Yep.
Great
Questions
chat. Great chat.
for the next one. Yeah.
Have a great full moon.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful, positive, calming moon.
Cut some onions.
Don't cut onions.
Cut some
You'll
onions.
cry. It's a positive, calming
Yeah, that's a
moon.
release of emotion.
You don't. No, we're not doing that. It's happy.
Oh, it's happy.
Yeah, it's
happy
gonna be a
tears. Happy
weirdly-
tears.
Happy
Joyous tears.
moon. This one.
Tears of joy.
Even though there's all this absolutely just awful stuff happening
Some bullshit going on.
around the world with
Yeah.
everyone, and this is just some time out tomorrow night and tonight. Just do the queen. What is it?
Queen breath.
Do the queen breath, and
Do you want to do a queen breath?
yep.
Do you remember?
And just
Ready?
have a happy moment.
Breathe in.
Breathe in.
And then clap. Make a crown. Breathe out. Queen breath.
There you are, queens.
That's a queen breath.
Oh, there you are, queens and witches. Any messages, please just send us feedback. We'd love it.
We'd love it.
And
See you next time.
see you next time on one of these other little subjects up here. All right, over and out. Roger.
Press the button.